Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alyssa Puri Nadira with student number 4 from class 4A PBI, and today I will do a review and promotion video on one of the reference textbook that I have read titled Teaching and Learning Language, a Guide. This reference book is written by Angela Scarino, Anthony Liddicoat, and Liddicoat IJ in 2009, published by Curriculum Corporation. This book serves as a complete guide to show teachers on how to be a good and qualified educator inside the classroom and everything that a teacher needs to know regarding how to build and how to build a lively and effective learning environment. The book provides a detailed framework for understanding the complexities of teaching and learning language, focusing on the role of language teachers and their programs in contemporary educational contexts. This book aims to guide new teachers who struggle to make interaction with the students or those who may have difficulties in operating the tools that are used inside the classroom. The book covers detailedly about things that a teacher must need to know in order to make a respectful environment inside the class. The book is suited mostly for educators, parents included, to teach themselves how to handle students from age range elementary to high school. This book is a compilation of tutorials and things to be noted to handle kids, and it is more directed to a new and young freshly graduated teachers who doesn't have much experience in learning. The book has 8 chapters in total, in which in each chapters will explain different points on how to be a good teacher, complete from the internal issue to external issues. It mainly talks about the practical things that a teacher needs to pay attention inside the class, and also ways to handle interaction inside the education field with colleges and respected senior teachers. The first chapter, titled Orientation of the Guide, provides an orientation to the guide, which is designed to support educators in reflecting on language education, the role of language teachers, and their programs and pedagogies in contemporary educational contexts. The chapter sets the stage for the rest of the book by explaining how it will help educators think about language education, the role of teachers, and their teaching methods in modern educational settings. Overall, the chapter provides a solid foundation for understanding the complexities of teaching and learning language. The second chapter, titled Language, Culture, and Learning, explains the connection between language, culture, and learning inside the education field. This chapter explores how language is influenced by culture and how cultural differences can affect language learning and teaching. It also looks at how culture shapes learners' views and attitudes towards language and their own cultural backgrounds. Furthermore, it highlights the need for language teachers to be aware of their own cultural biases and develop strategies to address these biases in their teaching practices. Overall, this chapter provides a detailed overview of the interplay between language, culture, and learning. The third chapter, Teaching and Learning, emphasizes the significance of teaching and learning English in modern education, as proficiency in English has become essential for global communication, academic success, and career development. The English language instruction process the English language instruction process involves several critical components that can significantly influence the quality of teaching and learners' achievement. Chapter 4, titled Resourcing and Materials, particularly focuses on the materials that can be used inside the classroom and shared with the students in the process of English language learning, such as resources and how to use them in class activities. This chapter also talks about relating resources to each other and develop resource bank as a way to store materials that can be used in future activities and references for the teachers. The chapter also talks about the importance of using authentic materials and motivates teachers to involve students in various selection process activities. It also highlights the role of technology in enhancing language learning and provides example on how teachers can use digital tools to engage with the students in their learning process. The fifth chapter, titled Assessing, talks about the importance of assessment conducted by both teacher and students. There are a lot of ways to assess class activities, such as self assessment, questionnaire, journal, and portfolios. Teacher can also encourage students to open up and share their opinion about the teacher's learning method so that the teacher can reflect on themselves. The chapter also highlights the importance of formative and summative assessment, which provide immediate feedback and evaluate um, students' process in learning at the end of a course program. The sixth chapter, titled Programming and Planning, discusses about the importance of planning and programming for the teachers and educators before giving a material for the students and before the class starts, such as planning interaction between students and teacher and interaction between students with each other, and also making personalized learning programs so that the students can learn more comfortably. This chapter also explored the various components of language teaching, including language itself, meaning, culture, learning, communicating, and assessment, and places them within a social and cultural context. In this chapter, there is an example of the author's experience on, on working with others and working with other teachers and talk about the behavior inside the class. The seventh chapter, titled Evaluating Language Program, this chapter explains the importance of evaluation and feedbacks in order to improve and strive to be better. Just like in chapter 6, this chapter talks about the after effect of assessment, which is evaluation and reflection. Evaluation is the most important thing that a teacher must get from each other or from students in order to improve their own teaching skills so that the students can be refreshed with their new teaching method or new materials, new resources, so that they can be more creative and they won't be bored by the same materials over and over again. And it also works as a way for the students to respect the teacher more because the teacher put effort to um, collaborate more, contribute more with their learning activities instead of just being ignorant. Because there are a lot of cases outside where a teacher doesn't want to listen to the student because they think they are superior, because they think the teacher knows best, which is not quite true because in the education field, there is not only teacher but also a teacher and the student. And finally, the last chapter, the eighth chapter, titled Developing a Professional Learning Culture. The last chapter explains the benefit and importance of maintaining a professional attitude as a teacher in a classroom. Oftentimes, we find friendly and humble teachers, and sometimes we find overwhelming and rude teachers. It is important for educators to maintain a professional personality in the classroom so that the students can be more respectful to whom they speak with. This chapter also talks about professional learning culture where teachers outside of the classroom activities are guided to join official seminars or official educational talk show to show that they can connect with other teachers and gain networking and also collect more information, sharing their thoughts to each other about ways to behave inside the classroom in front of the students. This is also part of learning together between colleges um, outside of the classroom. Now, my overall review of this book is that this book is definitely very helpful to have for new and senior teachers because it not only covers the basic of teaching method but also the detailed points from how to act inside the classroom to how to build teachers' reputation through networking. This book is also quite easy to understand, though at some point it needs at least a higher level of teaching knowledge to be understood. It really is a good guidebook on how to be a good teacher, and I think every teacher must at least have this book as their teaching guide. Parents who homeschool their kids can also use this book and apply the teaching method inside the book because it also offers various ways to handle students, not just inside class activities, but also from the outside activities. I don't think I have any complaints for this book because to me, the book is perfect. The book doesn't just talk about how teachers should behave to the student, but also talk about how the teachers have to deal with their colleges and how the teachers treat themselves as well because sometimes teachers are seen as robotic, which is not true. Teachers are also human with emotion who do mistakes as well. And that's it from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.